game.
I want to go to the coaches now because this is a huge thing that coaches can do and this could be to help kids that are in this get out of a slump, but just setting up the identity thing off the hop here's something you can do because I never did this ever, was think about who do I play like?
Right.
What kind of player am I?
Yeah.
I never had that articulated in my head at all. I was like, I can make some plays. I'm above average size, so I can use my body a little bit. But I never said like, I play this way. Like these are my 4 or 5. I never did that ever. So as a coach, knowing that at the start of the year when you have a bunch of kids that don't know and a bunch of parents that aren't telling them to figure this stuff out, you should do that with your team and with the players. Everyone does their player meetings, right? So when you do your player meetings, like tell the kids what you think about how they should be playing.
Yeah.
And maybe you're wrong, but at least you're giving them some direction, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I told you about my coach in junior my last year, who not a fan at all.
Yeah.
I had a meeting with him like halfway through my last year of junior, and he told me that I should be playing like Scott Hartnell. That's what he said. And I was like, well, that would have been good for you to tell me when I first got here.
Could have watched a clip or two.
I could have watched some clips and tried to learn what he does.
Yeah.
It was like, why is that not set up off the hop? Because I didn't think I played like that at all. Yeah. I was like, I've never ever once thought Scott Hartnell. Yep, that's the guy. 6'3", big power forward type of guy when he was playing. Yeah. It's like, that's not how I play. And now that I'm 19 years old and you're telling me to totally change halfway through my last year of playing junior, it's like, how is that supposed to work?
Yeah.
It was just discouraging. It was like, wow, we are totally not lined up at all. Like, you know, but if he sets the tone off the hop, like, this is what I expect you to do. Yeah. If you don't do this, then you're not going to get the opportunity you want. Then it's like, okay, now it's on me. Like, I got to be willing to do that. Yeah. But when there's no communication on that, then you can't set things up right off the start, you know? And then if it's a kid that is in a slump, you can pull this kid in and now you can go back to those things, right? You can say, hey, we're watching your game. I know you like what's going on. First of all, let them talk about, well, I feel like nobody's passing to me and I'm not playing the good minutes and all the excuses that young players give. I gave all of them. Yep. Because I had this exact thing happen to me.
Does. No one wants to take the blame.
No, that's right. But you can say as coach, like, okay, got it. But we noticed watching you that you're not doing these 3-4 things that we said at the start of the year that are making you a good player. Like you're not getting pucks to the net, right? Or you're looking to pass more than shoot if you're a goal scorer, or you're not finishing your hit. Or you keep getting locked up on the walls instead of getting the puck, or whatever it is. You have something to go back to, and then they can say, oh yeah. So you're like recentering them on something that they can understand. Absolutely. You know, actual things that they can do in the game. Yeah. Not just, well, you got to be working hard, bud. It's like, that doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. You know, so as a coach, if you want to throw your thoughts on from the coaching perspective, both of those, the identity thing or just the slump piece as a coach.
Well, it's twofold, right? As a coach, you have to have a team identity. And then you have to be able to coach players within their identity. That's why I feel like the coach, every coach, I don't care if you're in house league, because when you coach, you've taken on the role of helping people get better. And you might not think that, but that's what your job is. Like, I never understood. So when I coached Charlie when he was really young, and I reluctantly, because I always wanted to just be dad in the stands. But when I did that, I asked the kids, because I thought as a coach or as a hockey player, everybody wants to be as good a hockey player as they possibly can. I'm not saying that even a 15-year-old that feels like he's not going to the NHL, that doesn't mean that he doesn't want to be a really good hockey player, because it feels good when you do something well. And when you play hockey, like even if you play, like if I've only done this a couple times, but if I play in a men's league game or a tournament, it feels better when you're actually good.
Yeah, seriously.
Rather than just dog shit.
Yeah.
Right? And then when I play with the kids sometimes, it's like, I don't mind being good at it.
Yeah.
It feels better. It's like, I'm a good hockey player still or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, as a coach, every single coach should. So I asked the kids, I said, do you guys want to just have fun? Or, and just, kind of, I don't even know how to explain just have fun, because to me that doesn't even make sense. You're going to have fun if you're playing hockey, in my opinion. But I'm going to say it this way. Do you guys just want to have fun, or do you guys actually want to learn how to play hockey? Like, so what I mean by fun is like next line up and, whatever. You don't need me for that.
Yeah, it's like shinny hockey, yeah.
But they all said, no, we want to be good hockey. But every one of them. I did it privately. I did it in a room. I said, do you want to be a better hockey player, or do you want to just kind of have fun? No, I want to be a good hockey player. course you do. Who would say no?
Right.
Hey, Eric, you want to work for me? Okay. Do you want to make $1 million or do you want to make 50 grand?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's it.
So anyways, they all said that. So that was the identity thing. Okay, so let's figure out what we're good at. Okay? And now, as a coach to a kid, you're my freaking, this is probably the first and last time you're ever going to get this. Maybe not last, but probably. So you and I sit there and I go, Eric, what do you think you're really good at hockey? And you say, oh, I can score goals, and you had 6 last year. But you're a kid. You're a little kid.
Yeah.
And you say this, this, and this. And I sit there and go, yeah, I think you're good at all those things. You know what I see in you too? And I throw out what I see in you. You're a really good skater. You're really good. Like, and the way you skate, I really think that if we ever have a penalty, I think you could be the guy. Now the kids that sitting there going, oh, okay. I've given them a compliment. I've given them a task. Okay, so now do you think you want to kill penalties? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
And if you kill these penalties, or you do this, this, and this, you're gonna be really good at this. And then number 2, I think you could do this. And I agree with you. You're this and you're this. So let's write these 4 or 5 things down. Write them down. We're gonna write them down. I get one, you get one, or we do a photocopy or whatever. Keep them in your bag. Whatever, however we do it, you're always looking at it. You always see it there. And then I can always go back as a coach and say, remember those 4 things, 5 things. Remember that? You remember how you said you really go to the net real hard? Said, I think in the last few days you're not doing that. So now I can coach you, man. Now I can coach you.
That's right.
And I can coach you the way you need it. You need to be coached.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. And it's things that you agree upon.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and a lot of, sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Because a lot of times when you ask kids that question, even if they're 15, 16, sometimes they'll just tell you what they like, not what they're good at.
For sure.
Which is score. I like to score.
For sure.
It's like, okay, everyone likes to score. We know that. But what are you actually good at?
Yeah.
And you're starting to give them some direction of actual things, And then when you go back later, like you said, you remember these 4 things that we decided you're going to do?
Yeah.
Or do you think you're doing them?
Yeah.
And now it's not like a fight. Now it's not you're telling them new information,
Yeah. Yeah. Now, so someone could sit here and listen and say, yeah, but in junior and pro, it's not like that. No, that's true. It's not necessarily a mutual thing that you like to be on the power play and shoot one-timers. Oh, good for you. Okay, we'll do that for you. Make sure that you're happy. That's not the way that works.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm your coach, I still think it's important, and this is basically how it goes. Is Eric? Now I'm Daryl Sutter. I was like, okay, I need you to do this, 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 and this. He's not giving you 20 things. He's giving you these things. Do them as hard as you can, best you can. It might be the end of the sentence.
Yep.
Right. But now I'm coaching you on that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
you get out of that. You don't get to play. But I can coach you now. Your success comes here. You get to play if you do this. You don't get to play if you don't do this. That's it. That's all. So that's no matter what level you're at, a player needs to know what they need to do, what they excel at, and how they get ice, and how they make the team a better team, and how to win. So outside of that conversation, I also, as a coach, have to have a philosophy or a team identity, right? So what are we? We're a really fast skating, skilled team that, we're small. We go down. It's like, okay, we don't have the physicality, but I need you to still make some contact. But anyways, we're playing fast. We got these. This is 3 things that we need to play. Hard on the forecheck, hard on our D zone, and speed through the neutral zone. That's how we play. Or it's we're a physical team that it's an ugly win all the time. Whatever the philosophy is.
Yep.
So now the 2 philosophies work together, and now you're coachable. So now when a team gets into a slump, so a player gets into a slump. We talked about that, I guess.
Yep, you can go back to your.
Now we get
couple
a
things.
team, if we call a slump, we're losing a couple games, or we're outside of our identity. Then it's like you can draw everything back, and what happens is it's never the big things. It's never the big things. It's always the small things, right? It's either
Always.
you're not we're not physical enough. We're not hard enough in certain areas.
Yeah.
We're not getting pucks to the net. We're too fancy. Whatever the attitude sucks. Whatever it is, you can bring it in. And as long as the small things are getting done, sometimes you're just going to lose.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. So the higher levels thing that you were mentioning there for a sec, how coaches it's not going to be a buddy type of conversation. This is what's going to happen. Like you said, is they're still going to give you a job. You still have a job to do. So they're giving you a role. So if your first time being assigned a role is when you're playing in junior, you have to learn like what that means. That's a tough learning curve because you've never had direction before. So the benefit of doing this to kids when they're younger as a coach, even if you're going to say, well, at higher levels, they don't do it as much. The benefit is you're starting to teach kids that they're going to play in a role. They're going to have a certain job on a certain team. That role could change depending on their team, who else, their teammates, the team identity, whatever. But they're starting to understand that I'm going to have a role and I need to play and do my job in this certain role. And it's not just go out there and do whatever I want, play my position, but do whatever I want. It's like, no, you have to play your position. Yes, that's for the team. But then you also have to do the 3-4 personalized skill things for the team, and at the higher level, they're going to do that too. Like we got a guy that played here, or that came here that was playing in the NHL. And I remember you telling me, he said his job was, he's a big body, go over the boards, angle the guy to dump the puck in.
Make yourself big in the neutral zone.
Yeah. Then if you got to make a good first pass, do it and then get off.
Get off.
That was his whole job. He played in the NHL. His job was that. Make him dump it in.
5 to 15 seconds.
Make him dump the puck in and then make a good first pass out of the zone. Be a big body out there. That was his job. That's his all.
Just under $1 million a year.
Yeah. That's all he had to do. For his whole role was just that. And if he did things that weren't that, you're not playing. See you later.
If he scored, it would be fine.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Your job.
You're not going to be the second. Yeah, you're not going to be the second pair defenseman now.
No.
You're going to be the 6D that is out there in defensive situations and has a defensive mindset. So that's another thing too. It's like you guys will think that once they have their role or whatever, they'll go score a goal and now I'm going to be a first. It's like, no, you still have your job to do. You still have your job to do. So it's very important that you guys do that as coaches. And then to the point about the slump, whether it's a team or an individual, again, you can, like you said, just to reiterate, you can bring everyone back. You can center the team. You can center the individual back to what they need to be doing, because the mindset of the team can start to go to shit and the mindset of the individual can start to go to shit if you're not playing well or if the team is losing. And these are just strategies that you can do to intervene with your team to help to pull them out, rather than just have certain individuals spinning their wheels or the whole team just have a bad attitude and a negative outlook on the games because they think they're in a slump, whatever. And the other point too is how we talked about, maybe you're not in a slump. Like sometimes you're just going to lose. And this was one of the things that was interesting. We talked about it a few podcasts ago with one of the OHL teams. One of the dads was watching his kid and saying, I thought we played like crap, whatever. And then the coach came out and said, oh, well, we had more puck possession. We had a bunch of shots on that. We played great. We just didn't get the bounces today. And he was like, okay, like that, I didn't think that at all. But you can use that to go to your team to have that conversation. It's like, well, you guys think we're in a slump. Well, we're out shooting the other team every game. We're still getting to the net. We're just not getting the bounces right now. We're not actually in a slump, boys.
Like, we might have the best goalie for that day in the history of the world, Vladislav Tretiak for the day.
Yeah, that's it, right?
8 scored.
Yeah. And you lose 3 games in a row. Does that mean you're in a slump? Not necessarily, just because you lost. So you have something to coach with. You have a tool to coach from, So that's, I want to leave that.
Just